Hey, welcome to Lead Up Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Harbour. Really excited that you chose to listen to the Lead Up Podcast. Join me today. Maybe you're listening to this right after we released it. Maybe you're listening to it weeks or days after that. But I'm excited. This is episode 465. I'm recording near the end of 2025. And so today's episode and the next few are all going to be about setting you up for success in 2026. I've titled this episode, The Excellence Edge, Achieving Daily Progress and Sustained Success. Now, my real profession, my real passion is to help leaders transform their ability to lead others and create thriving workplaces. And what we're going to talk about today and over the next couple of weeks is going to help you do that, to create a thriving leadership philosophy, to create a thriving workplace and a thriving team. And so I want to challenge you to take some notes and lock in for this episode 465 through the end of the year, the next 5 episodes as well, because I'm going to give you some tips to really put things in place to propel you forward to become an elite leader and begin to create elite leadership foundation for yourself next year. Here's a question I have for you as we dive into today. When you hear the word excellence, what comes to mind? Is it a flawless surgery? A perfect patient satisfaction score? A perfect landing if you're flying? I know for me, that's excellence. I want that plane to land. I fly a lot. Maybe a 0 incident quarter. Maybe no tickets on your record if you drive a lot. Those are all incredible achievements, but in a demanding world of leadership that we face today, is excellence just a destination we hope to reach? Like, is it a place you hope to get to? I believe excellence is something different. It isn't a single monumental event. Excellence is a result of consistent, small, daily improvements. It's the commitment to getting just a little bit better each and every day. We have to let go of this idea of perfection. I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I really believe excellence is a way for us to let go of perfection and just get a little bit better every day. As a leader, are you fostering a culture where daily progress is the standard, where we're moving toward excellence, moving toward elite status, getting a little bit better? Today, we're going to redefine excellence a little bit. We're going to explore how to learn from both challenges and successes, which I've had many of on both sides, thank goodness. I've had a lot of successes. I have many challenges too. But we're going to talk about how to measure and celebrate progress and how to design a future-focused plan that makes excellence an organizational habit, a leadership habit for you. It's time to find your excellence edge. So here's the first thing we want to think about: reflecting on challenges and learning from success. Your ability to create an excellent organization, an excellent culture, an excellent team hinges on one critical skill: reflection. The pace of change today is relentless, and it's easy to move from one fire to the next without pausing. I know I get caught up in that myself a lot. What's next? What's next? Where am I headed next? Who am I training next? But if you don't stop and reflect, are you truly learning? Are you getting better? I have a conversation for you next week I want you to make sure you tune into, where we talk about that just a little bit more. Teams of leaders I work with hear me say, maybe more than they like, have you had your meeting with self? I'm a big believer in teaching this philosophy, just a meeting with self. We're inundated with meetings, but do you have a meeting with self? This is a time to reflect. Every Sunday, I have a meeting with self, and I'm looking at my schedule. I'm looking at things that I've got to move or do or deliver on a week ahead and a month ahead, always looking in advance. I'm using that time to reflect on what's working. What do I need to adapt? What do I need to change? In my book, Quit Losing Talent, the expanded edition, if you don't have a copy of that, I highly recommend it if you're a leader leading people and you want to learn to attract better people and keep the ones that you do have, those top talented people. Grab that book. But in the foreword, I teach a practice called sapere videre. It's just a Latin term, but I call this practice sapere videre, which is the practice of learning how to see through three different lenses. I talk about those three lenses in the book, and I'm not going to teach them today. I've taught on it before. You can go back and find episodes. Just do a search on our website, leaduppodcast.com, and you can find an episode where we teach the practice of sapere videre, or you can grab a copy of the book and read that. But excellence requires us to look at our challenges not as failures, but as data. I call them lessons. We look at our failures as lessons. What did that unexpected staffing crisis teach us about communication protocols? What can a negative patient review reveal about gaps in our care process? You can create a space for teams to dissect these moments without blame. If you get negative feedback or a bad eval or a bad audit, use these opportunities to sit down and dissect these with a team and brainstorm ideas to move forward instead of just pointing fingers and looking for someone to blame. Look for areas to improve and use them as lessons to go forward. This is a way to also build confidence in your team as you communicate with them about these things. Here's the other side of the coin, though. Are you learning from your wins? How often do you have a success, have a win, and you move on and you never celebrate it? Too often we achieve a goal and immediately move to the next one. Stop just a minute. Celebrate the success. Look, your teams, especially if you're leading people, your teams are working hard. People are overwhelmed, burnt out, tired more than they ever are today. Now, I've got lots of philosophy around why that's happening, but there are some things you can do as a leader to decrease that and prevent that. And one of them is celebrating wins, maybe on a daily basis, but at a minimum weekly, looking for small things they're doing well that you can celebrate with them. Because what we want to do is we want to celebrate the things that they're doing really well so they continue to do those things. But we also want to analyze those things. Why did it go well? Why did that workflow process work? Why did the way I interacted with that customer work this time? Why did the way you interacted with that difficult employee work this time? You had success, but dissect it, analyze it, and make sure you replicate that next time and the next time and the next time and get, again, a little bit better. That's excellence, right? Getting a little bit better. So you've got to create space for these things to happen. And then what specific actions led to that jump in employee engagement when you're doing these things? Are you looking at those things and processing what you're doing well so we don't fall back into bad habits, but we move forward into positive behaviors as we go forward? Peter Drucker, I don't know if you're familiar with his name. He's considered maybe the father of modern management. He's long been deceased, great business thinker. He said this: the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is to act with yesterday's logic. Like if we're not reflecting and learning and using new information about what works, we're only operating with past knowledge that may not. And look, today, the way things change, we're falling behind if we're not continually educating, like up-leveling our ability to think and use new information. Reflection is the tool that allows you to update your logic and build smarter paths forward now and into the future. So for a deeper dive on this, I recommend that you read a book titled The Progress Principle by Teresa Amabile and Steve Kramer. And in this book, it brilliantly illustrates how small wins can fuel engagement and success, which is, I know in my conversations with leaders, you're searching for the key, you're searching for the secret to improve engagement and success, productivity with your teams. So reflection is the first step. Second step I want to talk to you about is this: having tools for measuring and celebrating this ongoing progress. If excellence is about daily improvement, how do you know you're actually improving? You can't manage what you're not measuring. But I'm not just talking about high-level KPIs, key performance indicators that are reviewed quarterly. I'm talking about tracking the small daily steps that lead to big results. Look, we're a product of our habits. You've got a future vision that you want. You set goals to achieve those. But it's not that vision, it's not those goals that create our success, it's our habits. The daily habits that move us forward, the small actions, behaviors, is what creates our success, the future that you want. And if you're not tracking those, you're going to fall behind. So are you using tools to make progress visible? This could be as simple as a whiteboard in your break room or on the hallway floor where everybody can see that's tracking progress toward a team goal. Or maybe it's a daily huddle where teams celebrate and share one thing they've improved from the day before, or where they saw someone live out the values of the organization, or where we all stepped in to lift each other up in a tough task. See, these visual and verbal cues create momentum. They turn the abstract idea of getting better into a tangible shared experience. That's your job, leaders, is to create tangible shared experiences with others so they want to continue to do more and more of this and celebrate with each other and continue to lift each other up. When you see that progress, you must celebrate it. Celebration is not a luxury. It's a strategic tool for reinforcing behaviors you want to see. I teach a practice called tactical praise, or a tactic called tactical praise in my book, Quit Losing Talent. You may want to pick that book up and read how to engage in tactical praise on a regular basis. Acknowledging a team member who went the extra mile or celebrating a department that hit a small milestone creates a culture where people feel seen and valued. It tells your team that their daily efforts matter. Now, I know you may be a Gen Xer like me and your paycheck is what told you mattered. People need more than that today. People want to feel valued. They want to feel seen for what they do. They're not working just for the paycheck. They're working for the value they bring to you, to the workplace, to the organization. Author and business leader Tom Peters puts it perfectly. Celebrate what you want to see more of. Are you actively and consistently celebrating the small steps toward excellence in your team, in your organization? If you're not, you're missing a powerful opportunity to build a culture that craves improvement. And your job as the leader is to continue to push forward. The third step for you to do a better job of this, designing a future-focused plan to help sustain success. See, there's a lot of leaders who can go in and create a lot of excitement and grab some low-hanging fruit. But the real measure of your success as a leader is, can you sustain it? Can you sustain it? When I used to interview people, I would use an acrostic. I would ask them about the task that they were responsible for achieving. I would use an acrostic called TAGS, T-A-G-S. You might want to write this down. It's a great way to just kind of interview people. What were the tasks you were responsible for? What did you achieve in those things? How did you achieve them? What was the gain for the organization, for your team? And then how did you sustain it? What processes did you put in place to sustain it? That's what we're talking about here. What are the processes and systems you can put in place to, once you get success, you don't get comfortable, you don't get complacent, but you sustain it. Reflection and measurement are about your present and your past, but sustained success requires a plan for the future. Where do you want your team or your organization to be 12 months from now? It's just a great question. Where do you want to be as we reflect on this last year and we begin to plan for the next 12 months? What do you want to be different? Where do you want to be? What do you want to achieve as a leader and as a team? What about 3 years from now? Because I'm sure you're thinking about, if I want to be somewhere in 3 years, I got to begin now. I saw a meme recently that, the health of an older person is created years in advance. So if I want to be able to roll around on the floor with my grandkids, that doesn't start when my grandkids are born. It starts years before, of me taking care of myself and being healthy and exercising and doing the things I need to sustain my ability to do it and not have to regain it once I get out of shape and too old to do it. See, a future-focused plan isn't a plan or just a list of goals. It's a roadmap built on a commitment to continuous growth, being growth-minded. This is a power principle right out of my book, Power Principles. It's power principle number 12 right out of my book. Excellence is designing the way forward. So next year is our best year. Are you intentionally designing your future, or are you just letting it happen? That's the question I want to leave you with as we wrap up this third step that I want to challenge you with. Here's what your plan should answer. These questions. What new skills will myself and my leaders need to navigate the future? What new skills are you developing right now? Look, maybe you've been saying for a long time you're going to be a better communicator, a better difficult conversation haver, a better vision cat, whatever those things are. Have you developed that skill yet? Why not make next year the year you focus on being a better communicator? Whatever it may be. Maybe there's other skills, developing self-awareness, developing goal setting and coaching for your teams to help them become the best version of themselves. What systems, here's the second question, what systems do you need to build today to support the growth you want tomorrow? Third question is, how will you continue to innovate and avoid complacency? And then finally, and I think this is one of the most important questions you need to be able to answer, what habits and behaviors do we need to change to have success? Look, here at Harbour Resources, we're in the behavior change process. We teach leadership and communication and teamwork and all of those things, but it's really about behavior change. We're trying to help leaders change their behavior so they can change the behavior of others. And we do that through coaching and training and development. John Wooden, legendary basketball coach from UCLA, won 13 national titles as a basketball coach. He said this, it's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen. So your future focus plan is built on getting the little details of daily improvements right. Habits, little micro habits each day that move us forward. So for some practical strategies, I recommend James Clear's Atomic Habits book or Charles Duhigg's The Power of Habits book if you want to know more about habits, or get a coach. Get a coach that uses behavior-based philosophy to help you look at your current habits and behaviors and look at the ones that need to be put in place. And then we help monitor those with you or your teams in our development work that we do. Look, I want to challenge you as I started this podcast. We're kind of in a little series to help you get ready for 2026. This is kind of the first one of that series, that Excellence Edge. Next week, I've interviewed my friend Chris Robinson, who's the Vice President of Business Development and Growth for the John Maxwell team. Chris and I have been friends for a long time. I met him in 2011 when the John Maxwell team was 300 people. It's now over 60,000 people strong. And had a great interview with Chris. He's recently written a book called From Drift to Drive. It's all about what we've talked about today. We're going to go deeper in that conversation. Make sure you tune in to episode 466 to hear that conversation with Chris as well. Hey, thanks for joining me on the Lead Up Podcast. Make this a regular part of your learning and growth plan for next year as well. And I just want to leave you with this in mind. Excellence is not a final destination. It's an award. It's not an award you hang on the wall. Excellence is a habit. It's the daily, disciplined pursuit of getting a little bit better. It's a mindset that you, as the leader, must model and cultivate in your team. If you want your team to get better, if you want your team to be excellent, if you want your team to grow, you've got to model that for themselves, for them. People do what people see. I'll see you on the next episode of the Lead Up Podcast. Thanks for joining me today.